Giuliani show, and we are here in New York. And let's begin with I don't know if President Biden is trying to convince both sides of the Atlantic that he's become non-compass menace, but he put on two displays on both sides of the Atlantic where, normally they take you away in a straitjacket and put you someplace so you didn't hurt yourself. He was over there in Europe, and he was with Georgia Maloney and the heads of state. There's big controversy as to whether he left there, why he left there with so many important matters pressing, and with his own stated desire to help Ukraine. But he decided it was more important to help himself at 30 million. So he flew back so he could be with those very, very distinguished statesmen, George Clooney and I've forgotten who the other one was, Barbara Streisand or Julia Roberts, or, people with tremendous experience in how you win wars, how you keep America safe, what you do about the nuclear submarines off Cuba. In other words, complete frivolous jackasses who don't know a damn thing about anything other than, Clooney's all upset because his idiot wife has filed a criminal case against Bibi Netanyahu. And Biden flew back, destroyed the planet with all the carbon that he put out. And so I don't know. People say this was worse, who will close up. They say this was worse than the thing with Georgia Maloney. That he didn't know. See, look at that. Biden has to get him off the stage. Now look at that walk. I've seen better walks at the death house going to this electric chair. Is it possible that he's actually gone and they're propping him up on a stick? Is that possible?
You should see. He looks so out of it when he walks away.
They're afraid.
Look,
he's being propped up.
Can we watch the zoomed in version?
Yeah, anything you want. We can go back and take a look at Georgia Maloney. Also, the Democrats don't want to pay any attention to this, but we the American people do.
Watch this. So I'm gonna zoom in here. You can talk while we play it, Mayor.
There he is. There. He is standing there. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't wave. And
he's like walking him away, but look at him. Look at him's face. He remains like he doesn't know where he's going, right? Even walking away all stiff. Obama's literally leading him where to go.
Obama's trying to get him backstage as fast as possible. Look at that.
He's like patting him like, all right, let's go.
Looked like he was going to push him down the stairs. Look. I hope he's not looking at a little girl in the audience. Or maybe one of those that touches his legs in the swimming pool. There goes the pervert. There he goes. Obama must be surprised because he knows he's stupid, but like this, you saw the one with Maloney, right? You showed that one?
Yeah, we'll play that one right now.
So you pick. Who do you think? I think people in Europe were probably more judgmental because it's got about half that won't buy it in the United States.
This is from last week. By the way, that's sunglass thing. That means something too, right? They put on the sunglasses for a reason. He's putting those sunglasses on for a reason.
Well, you don't want to look. You don't want to look at his eyes because all the medicines that are affecting his eyes. Maybe they're all white or they're all no white or who the hell knows. Sometimes his eyes are like wide open. You can't see the eyes here. I don't know I don't know I don't know what it means, but I do know there are vast differences in his eyes. Sometimes they're wide open, and sometimes they're not. But he uh, he may have thought he saw Corn Pop over there.
Yeah, look at him. You look at.
Yeah, I think he thinks he's talking to Corn Pop.
And by the way, that's a foreign head of state that's directing him. That's not some aide or something. That's, a foreign head of state.
Well, she was the co-chairman of the conference, so she had to go back and say, "Boy, is he a gonzo?" And she's not particularly favorable to him.
Right?
I don't think she's going to give him the bullshit that the others did. A couple of them said, "Oh,
She saved him some embarrassment, though.
the socialist from the socialist from Germany said he was fine."
They just lie through their teeth. There could be one. She did save him, and I guess we owe her somewhat of a thank you as a country. She saved us some
Let
embarrassment.
him walk off and go away.
How embarrassing for the United States.
No longer saving us by saving him. He's our biggest problem. So he got nothing done in Europe because he went there, made a fool out of himself, and came back and made a fool out of himself. Now, I would imagine they're going to lock him up. I would imagine they're going to lock him up for the debate. Put him like in a tomb or something and get him ready.
Is this debate happening, Mayor?
I don't know. Look, what fun was this, Ted? This picture in the Post here.
So there he has the glasses on. Is that from the one we just played? Is that look at him? Look at what's he wearing? Is that from this day? That might be the same day here as this.
Yeah, that must be after he put his
Right here. This is from this.
yeah. It's with that group.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, he must have seen something up there that got his attention.
The skydivers.
Yeah.
Oh God, he looks so out of it. Puts those sunglasses on.
So that's the stage that he's in, and that's what I guess we'll get a chance to get a better look at that. He raised, they say, 30 million. He had with him that really classy guy who made quite a splash during the Trump trial, De Niro. You know, hey, I don't want you to vote for Trump.
I'm a real tough.
I
put a tough guy on TV.
I'm a real New Yorker, and I'll tell you, I'll take him on in the. I'll take him on any time. I'll take him on any time. I'll take him on.
He will look like an idiot doing that.
You know, if Trump showed up to say hello to him, he's such a socially awkward guy. He'd probably be too shy to even fight with him.
Have you met Robert De Niro?
I have. He is a very awkward human being.
Really?
Yeah.
Wasn't so.
I mean, I'm admitting he's a great actor, but he is extremely socially awkward. Got to be something behind that.
Yeah, makes me wonder.
But they raised 30 million. They say they're probably lying.
Yeah,
because that's all they do.
They lie, of course.
You know, as more of the details come out as to the way in which Hamas treats the Israeli hostages, all those students of ours that protest for Hamas are looking worse and worse and worse. Noah Aragami, who's now been back about a week, because she was part of that rescue that took place, very, very brave and bold rescue that took place, in which they saved all the hostages. 4 of them lost Arnon Zamora, who was a commander in the Yamam counterterrorism unit, which is their SEAL delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America's greatest heroes have made for us. Heroes who risked their lives to keep our communities and our country safe. Heroes like United States Marine Corps Captain and pilot John Jeremy Sachs. Captain Sachs sustained fatal injuries when his military aircraft crashed during training, killing him and 5 other service members. He's remembered by loved ones as courageous, brilliant, and devoted to his career, family, and friends. John is survived by his wife, Amber, who gave birth to their second daughter 3 months after his death. Tunnel to Towers paid the mortgage on the family home for Amber and their 2 daughters. The foundation has helped over 1,000 military and first responder families navigate the worst of times by removing the burden of a mortgage payment. Our nation's heroes and their families need your help now more than ever. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. T2T.org. That's T, the number 2T.org. T2T.org. Please donate now. Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because they like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans, no Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's coffee. And if I put my name on something, I truly believe in it. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to something I'm incredibly proud of. My own brand of organic specialty coffee, Rudy Coffee. Believe me when I say it's the best coffee you'll ever try. It's smooth, rich, chocolatey, and gentle on your stomach. It's so good, I even recommend drinking it black. It comes in 3 varieties, including what I promise is the best decaf you'll ever have. You can order now by scanning the QR code on your screen or by visiting rudy.coffee. By supporting Rudy Coffee, you're not just treating yourself to exceptional coffee, you're also supporting our cause, the cause of truth, justice, and American democracy. You'll also be supporting the Call to Action nonprofit, which is devoted to helping veterans and first responders, so you can make a difference and taste the difference by ordering today at rudy.coffee. Delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America's greatest heroes have made for us. Heroes who risked their lives to keep our communities and our country safe. Heroes like United States Marine Corps Captain and pilot John Jeremy Sachs. Captain Sachs sustained fatal injuries when his military aircraft crashed during training, killing him and 5 other service members. He's remembered by loved ones as courageous, brilliant, and devoted to his career, family, and friends. John is survived by his wife, Amber, who gave birth to their second daughter 3 months after his death. Tunnel to Towers paid the mortgage on the family home for Amber and their 2 daughters. The foundation has helped over 1,000 military and first responder families navigate the worst of times by removing the burden of a mortgage payment. Our nation's heroes and their families need your help now more than ever. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. T2T.org. That's T, the number 2T.org. T2T.org. Please donate now. Well, illegal migrant crime is, I got to tell you, getting out of control. They bury it, they hide it, they don't report it. A crime is committed by an illegal, and they say the person was a citizen of Athens, Georgia, like in the case of Laken Riley, or they hide it. Here's one that is absolutely shocking. This is Victor Martinez Hernandez. He's only been in the country since February of last year. He's 23 years old. He's in the country. Illegally, and he raped and murdered Rochelle Morin on a hiking trail. She's the mother of 5. This woman would not be dead if it weren't for Joe Biden. He's also wanted for murder in the country he escaped from, El Salvador, and also the assault of a mom and a young woman in Los Angeles. He has gang ties in El Salvador, and as the New York Post article by Steve Janowski says, Victor Hernandez did not come here, as Adams often likes to say about these migrants, to make a better life for himself and for his family. He came here to escape a crime he committed in El Salvador. He's running away from murder, and he came here to murder and to rape. And Biden let him in, invited him in. It's without doubt probably the worst reason that I've seen against the American nation. I want to show you a picture of him. That's him right there. This is a military age young man. That's where they all are. This idea of families and babies and taking care of babies, and they're all like this, look like this. I'm not saying they're all like him. God, that'd be unbelievable. But I think much larger numbers than you realize are like Victor Martinez Hernandez, who last August dragged Rachel Morin, the mother of 5, into the back. She was on a hiking trail. He grabbed her, he pulled her aside into the weeds, raped her, and killed her. He's also wanted for another beating in the United States and murder in El Salvador. I tell you, he came into the United States in February of 2023 from El Salvador, and he has markings that make him a member of an El Salvadoran gang, as many of these people are. Also, we remember, I think, Venezuelan migrants, two of them, carjacked an off-duty NYPD officer. The officer, it happened on Friday in Harlem. They are members of the Venezuelan gang I think you know about, Trans-Aragua. And one knocked the officer's gun from his hand and demanded his keys, and the pair sped off in the officer's vehicle. That's just 2 of the crimes that this guy came in illegally only in July through Texas. Bernardo, this is someone different. Bernardo Raul Castro Mata came in July, and in June, he opened fire on two police officers, leaving them wounded. Now he's been arrested and he's been held he's been held. Uh, uh, so, and I could go through more of these, and we'll have some more tonight. But the reality is, they're doing everything they can to keep from you the fact that there is a illegal migrant, an illegal alien crime wave in this country. And it is completely attributable to one person for the United States. And that's Joe Biden. For New York, it's attributable to Adams, who invited them here originally with much better offerings than any place else. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Maria? I just asked her to sit there, but she didn't. Delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America's greatest heroes have made for us. Heroes who risked their lives to keep our communities and our country safe. Heroes like United States Marine Corps Captain and pilot John Jeremy Sachs. Captain Sachs sustained fatal injuries when his military aircraft crashed during training, killing him and 5 other service members. He's remembered by loved ones as courageous, brilliant, and devoted to his career, family, and friends. John is survived by his wife, Amber, who gave birth to their second daughter 3 months after his death. Tunnel to Towers paid the mortgage on the family home for Amber and their 2 daughters. The foundation has helped over 1,000 military and first responder families navigate the worst of times by removing the burden of a mortgage payment. Our nation's heroes and their families need your help now more than ever. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. T2T.org. That's T, the number 2T.org. T2T.org. Please donate now.
We're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our MyPillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50% and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
Well, I wanted to show you something else that might give you a sense of an area that's really in crisis here in New York, and it's really a shame. This has become the Port Authority. They don't necessarily call it the Port Authority, but it involves and encompasses the Port Authority. But this whole area has now become described in the New York Post as an area in crisis. There was a random stabbing of a tourist, but then there are crimes all the time, big and small, in this area. And it's become a frightening place to go. And it used to be a really frightening place to go before I was mayor. There you see sort of a circle of it. It goes all the way up to about 47th Street at the top there. You can see, we got to push it down just a little. Quite get 40. So there you go. No, it's on there. You can see 47th up there. Up there.
Yeah, what the mayor's showing is essentially Times Square and then south, right? By like Madison Square Garden.
All the way down to basically Penn Station. And you'll see the Port Authority is over on the west side, right next to the New York State Parole Board. And right there, and now what is the problem here? The problem here, it is filled with needle exchange programs, positive health project, ACI chemical dependency, services for the underserved. A couple of others too. New York State Parole Board. And then of course there's the precinct. There's the precinct here. It's 10 blocks from the Port Authority to Penn Station. It serves as a gateway to New York City for hundreds of thousands. It's also surrounded by at least 4 needle exchanges and clinics, homeless shelters. They don't even give you the number. They say numerous homeless shelters. The New York State Parole Board and another assortment of social services for mental illness, addiction, and illegal migrants. So, as a result of it, Midtown South has become a crime zone. The Post exposed back in 2021 that Midtown South was one of the leading districts for drug arrests across the entire city, and that has gone up a little, gone down a little, and gone up a little, and remained about the same. And one of the people interviewed said it reminds her of darker times. Sure, before I was mayor, that's what it reminds her of. And one of the observers says they don't see how you can put that many of these social service things in one area. Of course, this needle thing. How many people had to tell people how terribly ridiculous it was going to be to set up needle exchanges. How crazy and ridiculous it is to put up needle exchanges. What's going to happen when you put up needle exchanges in the neighborhood? Who you're going to bring into the neighborhood? Yeah, not good people is the answer to it. And it's unfortunate because I thought we had passed this point in New York, and I guess we haven't passed this point in New York. So we worry about that on one hand. Biden created because of the migrants making it much, much worse. But then on the other, we got to think about the 2 wars that are going on. And now we got Russian nuclear submarines 90 miles off our shore in Cuba. Didn't Kennedy stop that? Isn't he a big Kennedy fan, Dodo Bird? And his response to it is silent. He doesn't know what to say. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why he was like that. Huh? I mean, this is a perfect example of why Putin invaded Ukraine, because he has no fear and no respect for Joe Biden. He has none. Absolutely none. So the guy that has come up now with the latest, he's come up with the latest in VP talk is Rubio. Big article today about Marco in the Wall Street Journal. It says that although they started off with a testy relationship, remember little hands little Marco and little hands Marco, little hands Trump, back and forth. But Rubio spoke at a rally at Trump's 78th birthday, marveling at how he doesn't need to be in politics because he's so wealthy and can have a great life, and he's doing this because he's the one man that can turn the country around, and seemingly seems to believe it. Well, I think that's right. And Trump seems to like the fact that Rubio is very anti-communist, that Rubio seems to have a tough set of principles that he'll stick to, and that he's a very, very strong family man with 4 wonderful children. And he's become a fierce defender of Trump. When the jury verdict came down, Rubio called President Biden a demented man. By the way, that sounds strong and whatever. And at the time he said it, but after the 2 appearances, I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
Somebody has to say it, right? I mean, he's
out of it.
he's in a situation where I don't know what is going to. I mean, every day you just say, "Okay, what's new?" Oh, did you see this one?
Every day.
And then you see him, sitting down without a chair. And then you say, "Well, what's today?" And you see him walking off on Georgia Maloney. And yesterday, you see him freezing on the stage with his pal Biden. Wasn't Clinton supposed to be there too?
Yeah.
Was he there, or weren't they able to get him down on time?
Yeah, I didn't see him. I saw Obama and George Clooney. I believe Julia Roberts. Let's see who else was there.
It's really important to be there with them and leave all the people in Europe. And they're just going to discuss Ukraine there, which he's double-crossing completely anyway. He gives them all that money. He's on their side. He tells us all how we should defend them, and then doesn't give them the capacity to win. And who knows what they do with that money?
Fine.
Who knows? So where's your thinking now on Vice President Ted?
I still like Ben Carson, and Ben did a great job this weekend in Detroit.
What did he do in Detroit?
He was part of that big roundtable the president had at a church in, when people go to Detroit, they go to the same area, right downtown.
He went to, as they say, the hood.
That's what they said, and I got to find that clip. We'll play it later. But the president was there. Ben Carson was there. Everybody's saying Doug Burgum. A lot of people are saying Doug Burgum, the governor of North Dakota, because he's good at defending the president. He's not going to have any ambitions that go beyond serving the president. This is what they're saying, right? Who knows if that's true? It's hard to say, right? When someone all of a sudden become vice president.
Let it get in the way first 3.5 years,
Yeah, exactly. And Burgum's also, some are saying, willing to put in a substantial financial stake.
You want him as, if it turns out that the guy you picked is a great vice president, maybe you want him as president.
And yeah, exactly. He'll continue your legacy, so to speak. So I'd say Ben Carson, Doug Burgum. You hear about Rubio, you hear about J.D. Vance, is his name. Tim Scott's name, but his name seems to be fading. Some of these others that you've heard, the president's being smart. It seems like he's keeping his options open, and he's not ruling people out, which is just smart. Why, you might as well have as many people as possible thinking they're in the running without leading them on too much. You don't want to be dishonest with these people, but throw them a bone. It helps them too, right? It helps these people for their own brand if they're thought of as being considered for VP, right? For speaking engagements and all that stuff. So it can be a win-win. Everyone.
The whole thing.
Yep. So.
President next time,
yeah.
Once you get on the list, it's much, much better than not being on the list.
At all. Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Mayor? Any updates on what you're thinking?
I don't think he's made up his mind yet. I'm almost sure of that. I think he's I think when you see these more serious articles that are leaked, obviously, to the paper, you saw one on Burgum, you saw one on him, on Rubio. Those are the people he's thinking about because he wants to get feedback. Those articles are tests, really, testing the waters to see what are we going to hear about. People will now come to him either privately or publicly, and you hope that if there are any deep dark secrets, they come out now, and not after you picked them.
Okay, so that's another reason here to have this kind of trial period, right?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
They're letting their stuff's coming out on all of them, and you can see how they kind of perform sometimes under the
well known. Some are well known, some aren't, but they're all known. So you get a little idea of what their public personality is, how the public thinks of them, how the public looks at them, what they feel their capabilities are. I mean, I really he's got some very good choices. He's got a nice group there that could take over the presidency, and would it be a clear superior choice to what we got there right now?
And then moving on to the Democrat Party, Mayor. How can they keep Biden in there? I mean, do you think there's a chance now? And you've always said that you didn't think he was going to make it. Are you sticking to that?
Anything. There's going to come a time when he can't say anything I don't know what they do with them then.
Yeah. Does it have to be Kamala? But I'm beginning to think it's going to be Kamala, which in a way is even better for us. I don't see how Joe Biden can, but I don't see how they take it away from Kamala. I'm sure they can.
Kamala's warming up in a bullpen.
I think who else can they put? A black? Who are they going to take away from the black woman? Are they going to take it away? This party that all they've talked about the last 5 to 10 years is wokeism, the Me Too movement, and they use race, they're race baiters. They're not actually trying to solve the issue of race, but all they talk about is race and the Me Too movement, right? So what they're gonna take the first black woman vice president and skip her over, presumably for a white man? I don't think so, right? So maybe they do that. So. They can't. I don't see how they can.
I think that I think that unless he really screws up at the debate,
that's right.
He's the guy. He has to really screw up at the debate.
So you think Biden will now?
Yeah, I do. I think they're stuck with him, and I think it's only an emergency that gets him out. Like he does so bad at the debate, they can't trust him. And we'll have to see. I mean, so far he's been able to get through those, but this disease gets worse.
Yeah.
And he's worse.
Yeah.
He's worse. He doesn't know what to do. I mean, he hasn't even addressed the Russian subs in Cuba. I mean, the president not even talking about it. Because I think they're afraid of what he might say.
Yeah.
It might be too aggressive.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's scary. That's a good point. It's a matter of national security at this point. You can't say the wrong thing, although I have a feeling the Russians and others, they're all in the know on how this guy is totally out of his mind. So they may hear him and think, well, this, they themselves may self-regulate based off of the current president's mental capacities.
A big indictment in New Jersey today. George Norcross, who was the head of the Democratic Party there, is still one of the most feared and one of the most powerful Democrats in the state of New Jersey and in the Northeast, was indicted today for leading a criminal enterprise, extorting money through threats and fear of economic and reputational harm. And so it's a RICO case, it looks like, and it's using his influence with the government. And he was at one point the most powerful unelected official in New Jersey.
Wow.
And that was particularly under, believe it or not, under Chris Christie.
Oh, wow.
Who worked hand in hand with his Democratic president, Steve Sweeney, who was the childhood friend of
Love that name.
And we'll have to see. We'll have to see if what Chris has to say about this. But he and Norcross were across the aisle pals that made lots of deals together. And Norcross wanted Christie's predecessor out. I think it was the first campaign. Certainly by the second campaign, they were big pals. Norcross had never. I don't think he had any charges against him in the past. He had rumors, And now I guess is the time that we find out if the rumors are true or not. Are they real? New Jersey has a very, very bad history of politics, like New York. The Democratic politics there are very, very, very difficult to deal with.
Oh yeah, and they have the party line voting in New Jersey is ridiculous.
So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back on the Jersey Shore. And if I put my name on something, I truly believe in it. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to something I'm incredibly proud of. My own brand of organic specialty coffee, Rudy Coffee. Believe me when I say it's the best coffee you'll ever try. It's smooth, rich, chocolatey, and gentle on your stomach. It's so good, I even recommend drinking it black. It comes in 3 varieties, including what I promise is the best decaf you'll ever have. You can order now by scanning the QR code on your screen or by visiting rudy.coffee. By supporting Rudy Coffee, you're not just treating yourself to exceptional coffee, you're also supporting our cause. the cause of truth, justice, and American democracy. You'll also be supporting the Call to Action nonprofit, which is devoted to helping veterans and first responders. So you can make a difference and taste the difference by ordering today at Rudy.coffee. Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because they like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans, no Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's coffee.
Welcome back to the Rudy Giuliani Show.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rudy Giuliani Show. And I must say, we are facing so many challenges now in the world due to Biden that, and we've got so few months to go, that the question that I asked some time ago has now become very pressing. Will they take advantage of the little bit of time they have with an extraordinary, from their point of view, president in the White House who seems to be incapable of defending the greatest nation on earth, even with the disparity in defense spending between the United States and China, and the fact that China has gotten to the point of having a larger navy than America, and is increasing its defense spending at Ronald Reagan rates. We're still the strongest military in the world, but getting challenged. And but the real thing that they have right now that it'd be very hard to have in the future is a president who just, I mean, seems to be a traitor, seems to be owned by China, won't do anything about China, has made decisions like giving up the Bagram Air Base and 400 miles from China, and not doing anything about fentanyl or COVID or that, or fighting back for Ukraine, but not allowing them to win, stopping Bibi from really what will be obvious victory. So it's a heck of a target, isn't it? We become a heck of a target with the last couple of months left, even if they're not quite ready for it, and even if we are still too powerful. Their hope is in 5 years, or maybe 8 or 9 years, if Trump gets in and then they can get the socialists to take it back again, that they'll be in a position to really do us in. So that can be a tough choice for Putin, Xi, Kim Jong-un, possibly the Ayatollah, as to whether they should attack. Make no mistake, that little trip to Cuba is to test the waters on that and to see how is the U.S. doing, how is it going to, how's it going to, what's the reaction to our basically taking the Kennedy thing and turning it upside down and saying, well, things are different now. We're a lot more powerful, and you're not as singularly powerful as you used to be. So we'll have to see if that has fruition anywhere. It's a very tantalizing thought. But the Chinese, I always felt with the Chinese that they're so disciplined and they have a plan. They're not going to vary that plan just because they have a sucker in the White House now. They figure the next 12 years they got a good chance of getting another one back because the Democrats aren't going to disappear. And it's been their party from the beginning. Look at their infiltration. The infiltration is the Democratic Party and all the Marxists that they have there, both practicing Marxists and those who act like they're Marxists so they can sound like they're intelligent because they're not intelligent. The terrible thing here is that Biden could have built on a real solid base. I mean, Trump had left the world on in terms of foreign policy in the best shape that America had been in quite some time. We had thwarted every challenge. We seemed to be ready for it. We still had to do more work on terrorism, but he was getting control over the border, which got out of control right away under Biden, which he decontrolled. Let's put it that way. And in the long run, it was a very difficult. It's been a very difficult presidency. I mean, he also came in at the wrong time, but I think any time Biden came in, it would have been a very difficult presidency because even when he was not demented. So how does he handle? There's a lot of stuff going on. How does he handle it, Ted? How does he keep all these balls in the air?
It's
You're having a hard time.
yeah, it's like it's not normal,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Of course, it's not normal. He's completely abnormal. He's a completely abnormal freak.
And so but why? How does he get? Well, I'm thinking here. How do they get away with it? Right, is the question.
I don't know.
Why are more people not? And I'm talking about people that aren't on one team or the other, right? People that are just they love the country, they want to focus on their lives.
That have seen it up close, that love the country enough to say,
Yeah,
we can't tolerate an irrational president.
yeah. Where are those people? Like, my dad's an old school Democrat. Where are those Democrats from 50 years? Right, the Democrat Party that at least portrayed themselves as a party of the working man. A lot of people, kind of bought that. And in a way, it may have been true 100 years ago with the unions and all that stuff. But how can these same people stand by the Democratic Party today? The Democrat Party today should be a party of maybe, like 10%, the 10% of the far left and some of the, it's just baffling that this is even close, right? This election should be a landslide.
That has to do with all of the beating that Donald Trump took.
Yeah.
The tremendous beating that he took.
Yeah. So some people have woken up to it, right? I do think Trump's numbers, I mean, the polling reflects that he's doing better in areas. However, this thing shouldn't even be close, right? I mean, it shouldn't even be close. Joe Biden is not all there in the head. We saw
things said about him in quite some time.
It's just, I don't understand how they continue. Like they think it's normal to have a star-studded fundraiser in LA with Obama and these actors.
Well, yes, definitely. I think the wrong signal to send.
Right? But it was the wrong signal to send in 2016. Remember, Clinton, she had like Jay-Z and Beyonce and LeBron James and these, and you knew then there's something wrong. They clearly can't win on the messaging, right? They need to bring these actors. Meanwhile, Trump's up on stage, what did he say? He used to say, he's the only guy that could fill an arena without a guitar, right? That was a great line, right? It was a great line.
Well, how do you see the rest of the campaign going now? Trump has a little more time because he doesn't have to be in court. He's going to be campaigning, I think, quite a bit more.
That's nice. That's right. You're right. I mean, we've seen him in Detroit.
And that's, of course, his big advantage is retail campaigning.
Oh, he's the best.
A lot of them are. I don't think Biden's comfortable with that.
Kind of like you. You're a good retail campaigner.
He goes there and he seems to forget who he's talking to.
Yeah, but they certainly painted him as a good retail campaigner.
Yeah, because he would when he had half a brain, he would go in and say inane things.
Yeah.
people would figure he was just in a bar, so they didn't realize that was the full depth of his intellect. But now he goes in and he sort of stares at them funny.
That's right. He does, and it's so with so we're got a debate in 10 days. I don't see how he gets on that debate stage. Let's see what the rules are. I think they came out with the rules.
They prop him up. Lots of pills.
So microphones will be muted. These are some of the rules here that we're seeing. These are released just this past weekend. Additional details. CNN announced additional details on the June 27th debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. The 90-minute debate will be held in Atlanta and moderated by Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. There will be 2 commercial breaks, but campaign staff cannot interact with the candidates during that time. The debate will feature a live studio audience, as have other general election debates in the past. Whoa, the debate will not feature, that's right, will not feature a live audience. And the candidates and the candidate podium positions will be determined by a coin flip. Microphones will be muted throughout the debate except when it's the candidate's turn to speak. That's ridiculous. I would never agree to that rule. Microphones will be muted throughout the debate except when it's a candidate's turn to speak. Joe Biden's not going to be quick enough to interrupt. He's not going to have anything to say.
Oh, so they're afraid that Trump's going to interrupt him.
Trump's going to interrupt him, and Biden's going to sit there and not know what to do, right? Not even know who's like, whoa, he'd freak out. That hurts Trump more than.
Voice, I don't think it'll matter.
You're right. They'll mute, so he'll just yell across the stage. The candidates will be provided with a pen, a pad of paper, and a water bottle. Okay, Joe doesn't need a pen and a pad of paper. He's got nothing to write down. They'll be prohibited from bringing props or pre-written notes. Okay, that's going to hurt Joe. Moderators will be allowed to use all tools at their disposal to enforce timing and ensure a civilized discussion. Oh, gosh. So that's some new information. All tools at their disposal. What kind of tools are they going to give Jake Tapper, I wonder?
I don't think you got to just say something to them and hope they calm down and embarrass them, right?
Yeah.
So they can't really.
What could they possibly do? Yeah.
Turning the microphone off is a little drastic. Let's see if they actually do it.
I just don't see. I guess. I mean, I'm just shocked that the Democrats are.
Microphones are sensitive enough to pick up the voice anyway.
They're going to put Joe Biden. This is amazing to me. If they follow through with this, I'll be. Look, unless they're purposely trying to get him off, right? That would be the other reason to do this, to show some holdouts, whoever's calling the shots, to show, look, this is our last, like this was their desperation move. We're going to contrast Biden to Trump in person to show you how ridiculous this is. And then maybe that'll get them to pull him, right? That's all I can think of, because if you're operating in good faith and you're on Joe Biden's team, I guess I don't see one, you probably put him in a nursing home, but you don't let him do this head to head with Trump.
He'll just do those two. Maybe I don't want to guarantee one. He may not even come back for a second.
Yeah,
it's a long time between now and
that's the other thing. If he does so bad, they might just not do anymore.
Right.
But then they can always say we did it, so you can't say we didn't. And then by November, people won't.
If he loses, it'll be a disaster for the Democratic Party.
They're setting it up so he can't lose. They're going to make this so it's one-on. They're going to take away the whole debate aspect of it, right? They're going to help Biden along.
You got to do a question and answer.
Yeah, especially a question and answer, right? And Trump can do what he wants, and he's going to do what he wants. The way
they've pushed him through other question and answer.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen here. However, there's still a strong chance that he can't. That people see through this, right? There's only so much they can do. They can't fake this forever. So, man.
Yes, Ted.
So we'll see what happens here. We have about less than 5 minutes left. Thought maybe we'd go into the mayor's final thoughts before we regroup and prepare for tonight's show, which we'll have a little bit more time on.
Well, I think my final thoughts today will revolve around the crime in New York and the crime throughout America. There are so many issues that are facing us that I'm not sure we're taking the crime issue seriously enough. It affects so many people at a base level. And those kinds of crimes are the crimes that have increased. In some places, there are reductions in murder, and murder, of course, should be reduced. My goodness. But it doesn't give you much of an impact on the crime rate. It's thefts against the big objects like the strike against the subway, sanitation workers, that kind of strike. That can really hurt you in the private sector, particularly since the private sector is hurting now in New York.
That's right.
So I don't know what I just don't know what the big issue is going to be in Washington upcoming.
Yeah. So we'll have to stay tuned and see. And in the meantime, we'll get ready for tonight's show. I want to tune back in here in just a few hours, 8 p.m. tonight. America's Mayor Live, episode 431.
I better tell you all, it's time to really focus down now on taking care of T2T. This is the time of year to do it, right in the 4th of July season, right after Memorial Day, 4th of July. This is the time to take care of our youngsters who died in the line of duty, were brought back to America, buried, and we want to take care of their families. We want to do more for them than we have been doing. Many of the families are members of the whole movement.
Yes.
Not just the one of Madame Rajavi, but all of the movements. So they're looking forward to having Trump back there too. To have a president that sides with you, even if he doesn't commit troops, is a lot better than have a president who makes fun of you and dreams of the Ayatollah taking over. How you can dream of that? I mean, I guess that's a sign of his old age. His dreams have deteriorated to such an extent that he dreams about.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, well, we'll have more tonight. What can folks look forward to tonight's show, Mayor?
I think tonight we'll do a really a fairly in-depth analysis of where we're going and how Trump can put a stop to the illegal migrant problem quickly.
Okay.
I mean, but I think there are some quick things he can do that will, and he'll get a great deal of foreign cooperation because he'll do it in a logical and sensible way.
Yes.
He won't do it helter-skelter like the crazy woman is doing.
Great. Well, so I guess we'll be back in just a few hours. Be sure to tune in on America's Mayor Live.
We've got another great hour for you between 7 and 8. We'll see what materializes then. Usually everything changes, and we've got a whole new challenge to face, which makes this industry and what we're doing very, very popular.
Yes.
And very popular in the sense that we want you to get it so that you get used to using it, Maria, because we're going to be on next week. Very exciting. Should be on Frank TV at 9 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. She an excellent interviewer, and you'll see some really, really interesting and provocative interviews. And it'll be about as good an interview with these people as you'll ever see. Don't forget, Tunnel to Towers, T2T.org. You make your $11 contribution to Tunnel to Towers. Get it out of the way. Make it now to be supporting the best organization for veterans in the United States. Thank you. God bless America.
Teaches